Welcome to the Writer's Corner, and in this upcoming series, we'll be going through our recommendations, our shows, movies, and other media like video games, books, and graphic novels, and so much more.
Enjoy the writers discussing our recommendations, and we hope that all of you guys check out these recommendations for yourselves.
Each video we will be discussing a specific genre, and we will be saying live action and animated works.
And we hope you have fun watching and learning some shows that will interest you. Now on to the video. Here are the rules.
We can put both animated and live action stuff together and not its separate things. Same with musicals, cartoons, family movies, foreign movies, and video games.
It has to be the main genre of the movie or show, like if it's shown as an action, then it's under action.
And we can't mention too much of a movie or a show if it's already previously discussed. You can only mention it.
Now on to the video.
I guess I'm just gonna recommend 2 Hayao Miyazaki films in a row. So I recommend Hals Moving Castle. It's a story about a girl named Sophie. Oh, that's why I called the other one Sophie. I was thinking about Hals Moving Castle. Anyway, yeah, she was a girl who's running a hat shop. I forgot. Did she inherit it? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, she was working at a hat shop. She meets Hal during her visit to her sister's place, but got harassed by some dudes. But she got saved by Hal. And then after that, after that meeting with Hal, she goes back to working at her hat shop, and she meets an old witch who said she has a very tacky shop and a tacky girl. and then Sophie got insulted, I think, and then she got turned into an old woman.
Oh.
Yeah, and then so she just decided to go on a journey to either go back to wanting to be a young lady again, or she's just doing it just because. And then she meets Hal again by finding a moving castle out in the prairies, and she gets to interact with the people in that house, like this kid, I forgot his name, and he decided to let her in. And she decided after that she gets to be one of the household members of the castle. And then during all that, she and Hal slowly fall in love, and they get to know each other. And basically Hal, the thing about Hal is that the reason why his castle is moving a lot is because he wants to avoid tax property from the government. I guess. And then the royal kingdom is trying to track him down just because of that. They want to arrest him for avoiding it so far. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The thing about his castle is that he could be in any area. Like, there's this door in his castle that can transport them into different areas of the world, which is cool. Mm-hmm. He can even set up shop in an area that he's not supposed to be. Mm-hmm. It's great. And Sophie is there cleaning the house and making the food. And then also this the one that's running the house is a flame called Calcifer, and he carries Hal's heart, which is interesting. Yeah, it's a really charming movie. It's actually one of the unique movies. It's based off of a novel. It's actually a novel first and then the movie, and then I guess Hayao Miyazaki decided to adapt it, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. It's one of the only book-based movies he's ever made. So yeah. And and there's some changes in the book to the movie. Apparently,
you're not gonna go into spoilers, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just saying the character differences in
okay.
The thing, the kid in the movie, he's very different in the book. Apparently, he's supposed to be an older boy, and he's supposed to be black.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's more polite and kind. Well, in the movie, the kid is like rude and brash, and yeah, and he like and then I forgot what else. Oh, yeah, that, and then also, oh yeah, I think the queen in the movie wasn't supposed to be in the books either. She's just an add-in because government rebellion. Woo! But yeah, that's it. That's Hal's Moving Castle for you, where Hal avoids tax evasion and stuff.
How he avoids tax evasion.
Yeah, he avoids the taxes. It was like, God damn it, Hal! Pay for your tax! Or you're going to jail, you bet!
Go to jail. Pay your taxes or go to jail. Perfect.
Yeah.
Love the moral of the story.
Yeah. The next Ghibli film I recommend is Princess Mononoke.
Oh yeah.
It's it's a pretty much of an environmental movie. It's about I forgot his name. This one guy who got like infected by some weird disease thingy, and so he has to leave his he was a prince, I think, and he has to leave his village to get away from infecting his family and friends. And then he experiences the outside of his village where there's a war happening, like a feudal war. And it's like it takes place in the feudal era of Japan, and there's so many blood and murder. And Princess Mononoke is like the more gruesome film. It's more darker and it's got more gore.
Yeah.
Like you actually see people get their arms cut off, and there's like leprosy and disfigured people, and actually people getting slaughtered left and right. It's crazy. And aside from that, that's like outside of what he's going through, and he goes to a little town run by this lady. I forgot her name too. God damn it, I need to remember their names. But she's a very noble lady. She cares about the sick and the women, and they gave them jobs because in their society they always like leave out the sick and the women from doing anything, so they let them do, just to build up a thing. But the big downside is that she values more of the technology side instead of caring for the forest. So they made an enemy out of the forest spirits and the animals, where this girl, Mononoke, the Princess Mononoke, she has a war against the humans, and because the humans have been polluting their forest for a while, and then so they're at war with this town. And the lady who runs that town wants to get rid of this, get a war for the forest spirit, because she wants to expand her town just so she could like help the poor and stuff. So it's like an interesting thing, and it's like there's no bad guy technically.
Oh, okay.
It's just which side are you on, the nature or humanity. And the boy who got infected, he has to like find a way to do a middle ground thing. He's like the how do you say it? He's like the ambassador? No, wait, no, not an ambassador. He's like a person who has to fuse everybody together, not to get them to agree with each other somehow. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting movie. It's like Hayao Miyazaki has a lot of things to talk about in that movie about nature and technology. Like Hayao Miyazaki didn't say technology is bad. It's just that he just wants an integration between nature and technology and how it could work together somehow. It's pretty
You're
cool.
right.
Yeah.
And when you started describing the beginning of the movie, like with the illness, it reminded me of something I remember seeing as a kid. And I don't know, as far as I know, I haven't seen this movie, but I do remember a movie where somebody gets like infected with this weird like green stuff, and like it starts to like an anime kind of movie, and they start to it like takes over them. So I don't know what I'm remembering, but I don't know. I just have this weird memory of like this movie I saw as a kid, and it kind of scared me. But I don't know if I'm remembering that or not.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
It's really this movie is really good. I really recommend it. There's so many also well-known actors in there.
Yeah, and you're like not the first person to recommend this movie to me either, so it's definitely on my watch list.
It's also one of those movies where any filmmaker or screenwriter should watch.
Oh yeah.
Because it's also nicely written too. You know, this is one of the movies that made me also like the whole duality of humanity, because I never see good or evil anymore because of this. Because everybody is their own person, everybody's human, there's no
you can kind of sympathize with both sides.
Yeah, and then you know, Lady Oboshi has her reasons, and I finally know her name now. The lady who has a town, who cares about people and wanted to expand her town and stuff. And then the princess, her name's actually San. That's actually really easy to remember. How come I didn't remember that name? Anyway, you just understand where she's coming from. She hates humans. She thinks they're terrible people. Terrible, you know, because of how they keep infecting the world and polluting it and hurting the family she grew up with. Yeah. It's very understandable why she'd hate humanity and stuff. And it's really interesting. I recommend it highly. It's one of the Hayao Miyazaki films that's pretty deep. Anyway, I'm done ranting about that one. I love that movie.
One of my recommendations is also a Ghibli movie, and that's My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh yes, the classic sort of My Neighbor.
And it's interesting because I didn't really watch it as a kid, but I've watched it a couple times as an adult, and I love it now.
Oh yeah, I also watched this movie as an adult too. I never really grew up with this movie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I just it's a tricky one to explain to people, and I think most people like know what it is. Like they know that Totoro is sort of like this spirit, but I mean like he has a physical form, and the two sisters, the two little girls, end up like seeing this spirit world, kind like they see the entities from it, like the cat bus.
Oh yeah,
I love the cat bus.
Yeah, the cat bus.
Oh yeah, the cat bus.
Because that's not horrifying.
It's the most memorable thing. It's just like, what the heck? Huh?
I don't understand how that works either. So.
Also, it just came out of nowhere to me.
The thing I really like about My Neighbor Totoro is that even though it's got fantasy elements, it's very much a drama as well.
And slice of life.
Yeah, because and I like just the relationship the sisters have with each other and their dad. Like it all feels very natural.
Yeah.
And then the whole plot with their mom not being well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, I like the drama and the slice of life part of it.
Cute. Also, where they move into a rural town. And then they get to have their own little farm of their own. It's cute.
Yeah,
it also captures the essence of what it's like to be a child. You know, of having a childhood where you get to like adventure, have fun, and you know, and then sometimes it kind of implies that they just imagined all that. But it's really cute.
Yeah. So I recommend that.
Nice. All right. I guess it's my turn now. I only have 2 left, so I'm just gonna like do one of them at a time now.
Yeah.
So this next manhwa is called My Father is a Tyrant, and it's another isekai one. Another one. So it's basically about this this girl who was a psych student, or like a psychology student, on her way to exam, but then she dies of exhaustion and gets reincarnated as the youngest princess of of another empire, her empire. And so now she has to she's the only living royal member of the family, and since her mom already passed away apparently. And so now she has to figure out which of the 4 candidates that her mom has slept with is her actual father. In this,
Oh wow.
where it's like it's not a romance, because it's more like trying to discover like who the father is, and reliving, or at least like discovering the past between like what's the relationship between the different like 4 candidates that they had with her mother. And yeah, before because again she gets reincarnated into a novel where apparently it ends in a tragedy where the kingdom falls and the princess dies. And yeah, it happens.
A tragedy.
Another tragedy, one that she has to try and prevent from happening. So yeah, that is
sucks.
My Father is a Tyrant. And it's pretty interesting. I like the way that the characters like interact with each other, especially the potential fathers that are like there. Like one of them's like the captain of the guard, and the other one's like literally a male prostitute but for women. Literally. And the other one's a god, and the other one is just a normal commoner who was by the queen's side before her passing. And so now she has to figure out which one of these is my father, despite one of them kind of looking like her, but she looks like her mother, obviously, because they can't really tell. And I don't know how they're gonna figure that out. It's kind of like the weird like Mamma Mia thing where she's trying to discover who.
Oh yeah.
It's like, which one's my father?
I've seen that movie.
Which one did I inherit my thing with? Who knows? And they all like treat her like she is their actual daughter, despite the fact that they also don't know who the actual father is either. So
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, that is so Mamma Mia.
yeah. Except there's no romance. It's more like fantasy and world building. And trying to figure it out, while also trying to prevent the tragedy of her own kingdom now. And the interesting fact about this story is that her self-conscious takes in the form of her old previous life, where she kind of talks with her self-conscious a lot, and they kind of contemplate. They have like this weird like a back-to-back where the conscious is questioning her every move of why she's even doing this. You know that this is like if they ever find out who you actually are, they're never going to like see you the same way, and they're never going to treat you like the same as well. And she's like telling to her conscious like, well, I don't care, I want to make sure that they're all like okay, because that's all that matters to me at the moment. And also I don't want this kingdom to like perish either, because of how much people rely on the kingdom as well. So yeah, that's basically it about the manhwa, of what I can say. Yep.
All right.
Nice. All right. Who's next?
Pretty sure
Me?
it's
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Twilight.
All right. So I recommend a video game called Tales of Berseria.
oh yes.
It's the story is about a girl. Her name is Velvet Crow, who had experienced the most tragic event of her life, where she got betrayed by her brother-in-law, who killed her brother in front of her eyes, and now she became a demon who eats other demons, and she is filled with rage and anger, and it's really interesting to watch. Like, she's very angry. And you pretty much go through her story, and she's pretty much basically a villain. You just play a game as a villain, pretty much. And you had to go on a journey to kill your brother-in-law, who became the hero of the world. And then you form a band with crazy characters too, who are also pretty bad. They're like not very good people either, but you like them anyways, because despite how terrible they are, they're actually pretty fun to be around. Like there's this guy named Rokuro who is indebted to Velvet for finding his sword, and so he like goes and tags along with her because of that. Also he also has a motive to do so, like finding his brother and try to kill him. And then there's this pirate guy who's looking for his captain. His name's Aizen, and he's pretty cold and calculating, but obviously he's a bad guy because he's a pirate. And there's this magic girl. She's a witch. She's called Magilu, and she's a goofy comic relief lady who broke out from the same prison Velvet was in. And yeah, and the only good two people is this little kid that Velvet kidnapped called Laphicet. And just because he reminds her of her brother, which is really sad because the name Laphicet is actually the same name as her brother's. So she pretty much named a random kid Laphicet just because she's very traumatized. And a girl named Eleanor, but she's their enemy though. So, and yeah, they are pretty much destroying the world just because of a selfish motivation, which is revenge. And yes, I recommend this game because it's really sad.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, no.
Well, yeah, but I'll talk about Sleeping Beauty next, and we can both talk about it because it's on your...
Yeah, we should talk about that.
Like, the main thing that I like about it, and I think this is the case for a lot of people, is the art style.
Yeah.
Like, it has a very distinct style to it, and it's just really beautiful to look at.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
The details and the trees and the backgrounds.
And the style.
Yeah, like even just the way they draw the hair.
Yeah, I remember. It's how everyone looks so angular, and the trees are interestingly shaped.
But just like even just the details, like you look at one of the trees and the level of detail and the leaves and the texture and then the color palette, and like it's just a movie that's nice to look at.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and I'm sad that it didn't do well like when it first came out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about it.
Yeah, that's
and
what
the animators put in so much work too, like the level of detail they put into it went beyond. Like I think I heard it took like them a day just to draw 1 second.
Yeah,
wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
animation.
Yeah. Also,
and I think that was like per character too, so it was just like really, and yeah.
Animation.
Animation.
I really
sucks
admire that
sometimes,
type of thing.
Or maybe it was even something crazy like a week for a minute or something. Like it was just it was unreal.
It is.
The amount of work they had to put into that.
The technology they have too.
Yeah.
It's like big machines just for one scene.
Yeah.
And I always like the 3 fairies.
Oh yeah, the 3 fairies. They're very they have character to it. Like Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather.
Yeah, and I like their different personalities, and I like how Merryweather, if she's not happy about something, isn't afraid to say so.
Yeah, she's very
she'll be like, well, I don't like it. I think she's a jerk, kind of thing.
Well, my favorite is Maleficent for many reasons.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like the villains in Disney movies. I don't really care about the protagonists. The villains are the ones who steal the show.
Yeah, the old villains in Disney movies are so charismatic, you know.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why they didn't do that anymore.
Like, some of them are boring nowadays. No offense.
Oh yeah, they are not very memorable anymore. It's so sad.
Like Hans from Frozen, I don't care about Hans. I don't give a shit.
What? Oh yeah,
Hans from Frozen, I don't care about him. He's mediocre.
Who cares about Hans?
Who cares about Hans?
He's boring. He should. Yeah. And then Maleficent. Holy crap, she's so cool. Yeah. Speaking of villains, like I really like the color palette. There's like for the villain, green is always the bad color for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
Maybe it's because of Maleficent. They just thought sickly green is evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
And black is of course evil.
Evil.
Yay. but everyone loves Maleficent. She's so cool and she's an icon. And and the amount of makeup exaggeration for her. And honestly, I don't like the movie of Maleficent. It's so I don't know. I was very disappointed in it somehow. I was expecting more, but no. I just got I don't know. I felt really cringe in that one. I don't know. I found it cringy somehow, and I didn't like it.
I don't know. I don't mind the new one. Like, I don't mind what they did with her lore. Like, explaining. Like, I don't mind like the anti-hero thing. Like, explaining why. Get like the main reason is it gives her motivation.
True.
For why she went after Aurora. Because I think that was when Sleeping Beauty first came out. That was one of the big questions. People were going, why does Maleficent care? Why is she going after this random kid?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. But, it's just that I don't know how they wrote it, Maleficent. It's just that it feels just despite her needing a motivation, I feel like it's kind of forced though. Like
yeah, I guess I could see that.
Yeah, also it's just that you know about the king in Sleeping Beauty. He feels drastically different from the king in Maleficent, and it just feels and then also what happened to the second king again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just that
well,
that's why
the first
I kind of
one
cringed about it because it feels like
well, the original Sleeping Beauty, I really liked the dynamic between the two kings.
Yeah, they were besties, and then they almost. And
I like how when one of my favorite parts is that they're talking about the future and they're drinking their wine and
they're drunk.
But then the bard is standing there and he keeps sneaking some of the wine too, so he's just getting progressively more drunk along with them until they find him passed out under the table.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that in kids' movies now. You're not allowed to have alcohol, but it's really funny.
Yeah, it's really funny. I remember when I saw that as a kid, I was like, yeah, that grape juice is definitely, he got really belly sick, probably. Yeah, I never thought of it as alcohol. I just thought he's just got too much grape juice, and was like, that you would feel really sick about that.
Yeah, it's one of those, I guess one of those things you don't, really realize until you're an adult.
Yeah. I thought it's just got something to do with belly ache or something.
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty. Also, what was it with Prince Philip? I remember. I guess it's like a little.
For its time, it was it was the first sort of one that was trying to be progressive, that was trying to say, you know what, they should only marry for love, and they actually gave the prince a name.
Yeah,
he actually has a name. Because in Snow White and Cinderella, he doesn't even have a name. He's just the prince.
The prince.
Yeah, Prince Charming.
And the prince and they're just I just met her. I'm in love with her now.
This is crazy.
In Sleeping Beauty, they did just meet still, but
but even in Cinderella, they actually got to know each other.
Yeah,
which is also even more progressive, despite him not having a name.
Not having a name.
So it's really they actually got to know each other before anything happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything I have to
that's
say.
everything for me too.
Okay.